Hey everyone, it's your host with the most, Memory Loss. Today we're looking at one of Fusionfall's most interesting and intriguing characters throughout the entire lore and history of the game, Buttercup / Belladonna Utonium. Roll that intro.
Legends never die. Legends never die when the world is calling you.
Welcome to Fusionfall Remembered, everyone, where we go through the story of all the Cartoon Network characters as they appear in Cartoon Network's hit MMORPG, Fusionfall. We will also be covering characters' appearances in the now cancelled Fusionfall Retro and Fusionfall Legacy games before it was shut down through what's been revealed to us from the game devs from the Fusionfall Universe team. So to help viewers like you from a narration and storytelling standpoint, I'll be telling their story of the characters, that is, through the player's eyes. Meaning we start at the time travel machine experiment with Dexter at the beginning of the game, and we go up on throughout the game until we hit the level 36 Fuse No More mission, which is the very last mission in the game available. With that out of the way now, I'm your host, Ben Bolt, so let's get right into today's topic of consultation, Buttercup Utonium, or better known as Belladonna, throughout most of the Fusionfall gameplay. Buttercup is one of the triplets Professor Utonium made in his lab one day while using the three ingredients all girls are made of, or at least all little girls: sugar, spice, and everything nice. While mixing it up, however, Utonium was knocked over by his lab assistant, Jojo, who definitely was an evil later, and broke the container of Chemical X, spilling it all into the concoction. Thus, the Powerpuff Girls were born, and using their ultra superpowers, Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup have dedicated their lives
to fighting crime and the forces of evil!
Sorry, I always get ahead of myself there. Buttercup is the spice of the three girls, not the Spice Girls, and it shows through her tomboyish nature throughout the show and in Fusionfall, although more shown through her nano. She's shown avoiding girlish things for the most part and prefer to do more wild things and be more rough than her sisters are generally. In Fusionfall, we see her personality shown off in three different ways: as Buttercup, Belladonna, and in the Buttercup Nano. In Retro, we also see Nano Belladonna, so technically you can argue there's four personalities out on display, even though the personality between normal and Nano Belladonna is indistinguishable, as the Retro devs were not able to get Buttercup's voice actress for it, so they had to use the same voice lines. Buttercup shows the trait of a leader, though, more as she's more grown up now and has really reeled in her anger issues and outbursts a lot since we were first introduced to her in the Powerpuff cartoons back in 1990s. Her Nano, however, seems a lot more temperamental than her DNA host, and that's shown mostly through her voice lines and her abilities and voice cups from whenever the player emotes. Belladonna is much more relaxed in personality and takes on the stressed out mom and voice of reason role to the Green Gang. She constantly points out when her boyfriend, Ace, and the rest of the gang do something illegal or something that could get them into trouble, showing that there is still a bit of Buttercup in her that, wants to keep them from breaking the law. Now, for those who don't know, in the Fusionfall universe, Buttercup suffers from amnesia after a fight with Mojo Jojo goes wrong, and she ends up MIA for a few months before the planet Fusion invasion. Everyone assumes the worst, throwing the entire Utonium family into a severe state of depression. But we'll get into that happy note another time. But what happened to Buttercup? Well, during the fight with Mojo, Buttercup saved her sisters by pushing them out of the way and taking a massive hit from Mojo's giant mech suit, knocking her straight into the ocean by Orchid Bay, which, if we look at the Fusionfall map, that is a really far distance to be, smacked by. because they're up by Townsville Park, I'm guessing, or by the City Point, somewhere up there, and she got launched into the ocean by Orchid Bay. Like, that is a really far distance. You know, Mojo was just gone. There she goes, away. She's over there now. It makes sense as to why she lost her memory. You know, she got smacked that hard that she flew miles and miles away. But after washing up on shore, she had no recollection of her past or who she was. You know, that's how amnesia works. But she was found by the gang, Green Gang. And the fact that she had amnesia worked to their delight. Ace, the gang's leader, took pity, I guess, on Buttercup and decided to take her into the gang for his own nefarious deeds. This is kind of in reference to an earlier Powerpuff Girls episode called Buttercrush, where Buttercup, it was hinted that she did have feelings for Ace and the rest of the gang, as she did get along with them legitimately in the show. But later backstab, you know, hijinks ensue, whatever. So this is kind of a reference to that. So soon after that, she was like family to the gang, who had put their past with her behind them, and despite a few slip-ups, every now and again, much to Ace's annoyment, they got along pretty much. While they were in the gang together, Ace and the newly named Belladonna, given to her by Ace, go figure, they began a romantic relationship with each other, which isn't too weird until you look at their ages, with Belladonna being 14 and Ace being 17, and, you know, you get a little, But then you remember that, you know, Cartoon Network is in charge and nothing weird is going to happen. I hope. So, moving away from that entirely, because that's just a weird conversation to have at all, Belladonna went through a majority of the game without meeting up with her family until after the player gets back to the past and hits level 14 with the I'm Still Standing mission line, where you tell the Utonium family Buttercup is okay, but has suffered from memory loss. Professor Utonium then decides for the family that it would be best not to overwhelm her with the rest of the family showing up. You know, it's kind of sweet. You know, because you see it and you're just like, oh, my little 9-year-old heart, I can't take this. It's too sweet. Because they don't want to completely overwhelm her, which is something that could happen with someone with amnesia. Suddenly being forced into a situation where you have these family members that you don't remember and are saying they're your family, it can be overwhelming for some people. And that's kind of nice that much depth and storytelling was added into the game, into a children's game nonetheless. It's amazing. Moving on again, when the player signs up for Dexter's time travel experiment, Buttercup is still around and hasn't gone MIA just yet. She landing in the distant future, however, we see Buttercup flying around the future tech square, helping the remaining heroes and villains fight off Fuse in an attempt to save that area. It doesn't work in the long run, but we'll get there. She meets up with the player and sends them off to go find Dexter in the Fusion Buttercup lair, where the player meets Dexter and gets their very first nano in the entire game, Nano Buttercup. Weird choice, but we'll take it. From there, she and her family are in this survivors group that helped fend off Fuse's attacks, and they then help the player get the time machine back together. Once the player is sent back to the past to help save the future, Buttercup more or less takes a back seat in the main story until you hit about level 13 and then through level 18, I believe, in the Mariquay Row area, which is right next to a fusion layer. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Give me a second. I can't find it. This is very sad. I know that area. It's from the class of 3000. I know this. It's like a giant music hall. I can't believe I can't find it on the Fusionfall wiki. This is so upsetting, guys. Sunny Bridges Auditorium. That's what it's called. I'm smart. I know what I'm doing. God help me. So, other than that, You'll do a few missions with her here and there, but gameplay-wise, she does not take a very active role in terms of giving out missions. Despite having one of the most amazing in-game stories, though. In Retro, there is the Nano Belladonna mission line, which was added in, I believe, their last or second to last update before they got hit with a DMCA, where you break into the Hanna-Barbera Records, I believe I'm saying that right, building, and upon seeing a poster of her and her sisters performing a gig, she regains some more of her memories and helps the player defeat Fusion Belladonna. She then goes off and stays as Belladonna with the Gangrene Gang, as not to tip them off, as she remembers them and who she is. But she stays so that she can wait until she has more of her memories back, and being with the gang helps her remember stuff that she forgets. Mostly due to them slipping up and telling her stuff about her past. God, they're idiots. Hey everyone, Ben Bolt here again at the end. Thanks for watching the video. I apologize for how long this took to make. Video editing is not exactly my forte. I'm still getting used to everything, but hopefully I'll have more videos coming out later of this style. If you liked it, why not subscribe? Like I said, I'm going to be making more of these. Comment down below who you want to see me do next. You know, anyone from Fusionfall is on the table. As long as they appeared, they're up for grabs. So, thanks. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike. I don't care. I need honest opinions. Again, sorry this was late, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time.